All right, everybody. We're going to try this again, this kind of mid-range, this midday, like semi-live stream. Let's see if we can't get it going. Again, I don't know how many people are playing this slate, but Bobby and I are going to kind of talk through it, maybe go over a couple of other things while we are here. I did just push one more ownership and projection update for the afternoon slate. I had very little time to do it, but I did manage to pump it out there, and we'll go over it. And I did play, so may as well go over what I did. I just got a lot of stuff, more important, but I got other stuff going on. So that's why the live during the day is kind of difficult for me, but I'm going to do it anyway. Let's just wait on Bobby to come, and then I'll go through it. Or there's one other thing I have to do on another monitor where I might have to distract myself. Let me just see if Bobby's coming. Otherwise, I'm just going to go through my plays here. Hey, what's up, Grandma? I'm doing just fine, thank you. So just pop in, let me know when you're around, and I'll go through what I'm doing on the slate. I got another thing going on the side. I have two other things going on, which is kind of distracting me. But I'll do my best. I'll just go through it. So I like Giolito and Brady Singer as my main pairing, I think, with some Peralta. And then so it's looking like, I'm pretty chalky this slate, honestly. I mean, I'm playing I'm playing the chalky pitchers: Giolito, Peralta, Singer. I mean, these are the guys that I'm just going to play. And then let me see what other exposures I have. I mean, I'll pull up my stack tool as well, but it's not going to be, particularly earth-shattering. I mean, I have the Astros, excuse me, the Padres is just total layover over everybody else. So on DraftKings, it's going to be difficult to get away from much of anything. It's probably a really crappy. It is probably a really crappy slate to play GPPs because the chalk is pretty good. It's kind of hard to get away from it. Just hoping I get the right combination, I suppose. This is pretty weak. I do have some Pittsburgh thrown in here from here and there. Some Kansas City thrown in from here and there. That's my main. I don't even say my main pivot. I guess you could say I do have some different pitchers on DraftKings actually. So I do have some Tyler Mahle. I have 17% of him. I have one lineup with Cole Irvin, just for fun, I guess. And that's pretty much it. With respect to FanDuel, I got, so I can show you FanDuel. So FanDuel, a whole bunch of San Diego and a whole bunch of Detroit, and along with KC. So that's me over there. So San Diego, Detroit, KC, basically round robining pretty much everybody from those teams. And pitching there, I have mostly Peralta and Mahle over there. I did not get. So 41%, and I did not get as much Giolito on FanDuel as I did on DraftKings. I also, for those of you who are interested, I'll go through some PGA stuff. I mean, you do have me probably for like a half an hour until I get called away for something, because I am waiting on a text, which it's going to call me away. So I might as well flash the new PGA rankings that I did, because remember we did this yesterday. The last time we did the PGA stuff, and I do have some updates since then. So this is going to be the new PGA stuff, which I'll throw up there as well. So the way to visualize this, right? Like these are just rated by top plays. You'll have Xander, Rahm, Webb, and Berger. You know, just I guess these guys kind of separate themselves: Cantley, Berger, Webson, Rahm, and Schauffele. But you'll see that, you know, that Webb and Berger both have, you know, much lower ownership than those others. So they're going to be probably a big part of what I'm doing. For those of you that play PGA. Frank, why do you think it's an awful slate? Just because it's so obvious chalk? I think I tend to agree with you. I think I agree with you. Yeah, for me, it's really just it really is kind of a crappy slate to play. I agree. I just couldn't agree with you more. But I'm doing it anyway. In the name of true transparency. So let me just go back to what I was saying about PGA, which to me is far more interesting. Yeah, you know, Frank, we just did a preview of the main slate, and we'll hope to go live a little later with that. I think the main slate is actually a little more. Well, the main slate's interesting, Frank, because you have DeGrom, who's I think is quite the standout there as well, and he's going to be really chalky also. So you do have different options with the hitting, I think, that does make, I think, the main slate a little better than this one. But with respect to, I'm really just honing in on this golf thing here. Like you'll see, like if you look at the ownerships, like you're not getting those real big standouts at like really low ownership. You're getting a bunch of like these 10%ers like Webb and Berger and Abe is fine. Corey Connors would be the closest thing I have. You know, he's under 10%, and he's, you know, rated, you know, top 18, 20 plays, which is fine. Dustin Johnson, sub 10%. So If you play PGA this week, I mean, you really just could play kind of whoever you want, because the flip side of there not being just incredible low owned is because, I mean, there's not that many incredibly high owned ones to suck all the ownership away. Everybody's playing a bunch of everybody. So I wouldn't go play like a 20% owned Shane Lowry, for example. You know, I would probably try to stay away from that. What I do is using these. Hey, what's up, Bobby? We don't have that many people in here. I just kind of went over my my thoughts on the slate, which me and Frank are both agreeing are pretty bad. The slate itself. I mean, I can't get off of the chalk here. Can you help me? I mean, you want to get me onto something else?
I think you try and compare the chalk with some other things you like. The problem is we felt this way for days. I know it's been bigger slates, but it really hasn't paid off. Sorry, I lost you for a second.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's here's what I'm doing. So on DraftKings, I am going to end up just playing, like, I'm mixing in like mostly it's going to be, I like Singer and Giolito are the chalk, and I am fine with both those. I like Molly and I like Cole Irvin as my sort of sleeper pitcher. Watered down lineup, no Rendon, obviously no Trout. So I do think that Cole Irvin is a way to get a little different. And then I am combo stacking with the, let's see real quick. I need to get my ownerships updated real quick. With Pittsburgh actually has some value. Like, I think that they're not going to be owned. They won't be owned. I like Reynolds, Polanco, especially. I don't mind Phillip Evans either. And then I like Oakland a little bit against Canning, and they're just going to be completely unowned. So I don't mind doing a little mini stack with them to complement the chalky San Diego stuff. I don't think you need to play Colorado. They're going to be high owned, and they're fine. You know, you got Brendan Rodgers is cheap, and I might use him a little bit, but I don't really want to go crazy with Colorado today at these ownerships. Really, really bold would be to stack the White Sox against Yarbrough here, but it's an extreme hitters umpire, and the White Sox, we know the damage they can do against lefties. These are the unowned parts of the slate, and then I'm not getting to Cincinnati or Milwaukee much, but I don't mind if you wanted to use them as your other part. I don't find, as much as I think Washington is in a great spot, I actually think Washington's ownership is going to be, especially Schwarber, Bell, Soto, are going to just be crazy high owned. And then Garcia at the minimum cost is a play I think people will go to as well. So I'm not going to I'm going to try to avoid that. One thing you can do, though, if you do want to do that, just play Turner over Tatis in that situation.
Yeah, you know, you came in. I just went over what I was doing, and it was very, very similar. Right down to the point of me filtering some Pittsburghs too. That's what I said, and I didn't get as much, not as much. I don't know how much you got, but with respect to Cole Irvin, I have a share or two of him as well. My DraftKings lineups, unfortunately, are going to be chopping with people. They just are. So, like I said, do as I say, not as I do. I mean, I probably think this is a bad GPP slate to play, but I'm playing it anyway. And I'm playing the guys that you mentioned. I mean, I have mostly Singer and Giolito, and then Peralta and Male on DraftKings, and that's that. I guess FanDuel, I guess maybe I don't say a little different. I'm only using 3 teams on in FanDuel. I'm basically doing pretty much almost all 4x4s, and it's going to be San Diego, Detroit, and Kansas City.
We are on the same page there.
Oh, okay. So yeah, so that's all I'm using on FanDuel. And with respect to the pitching on FanDuel, I'm using less Giolito, and more the whatchamacallit, Male, what's his name, and the other one, and Peralta. So yeah. nothing earth shattering for me.
Yeah, because the hitters ump, I don't mind using Peralta over Giolito. So I've got my evening thing pulled up before I get to my ownerships here. Guys, drop in any questions. I'll answer them in just a minute. It's not going to take too long to go through this morning part of the slate. See if that's the Oakland lineup. It is. Canna, Laureano, Olsen, Moreland, Chapman, Brown, Andrus, Kemp, Garcia. So I'm playing Canna and old Moreland in my main lineup on DraftKings. So that should be a way to get different, right? You know what I mean? Those guys aren't going to be owned. Sheets.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I kind of disagree. I think this is a perfect tournament slate.
Really? Okay.
Because I think it's just so easy to get different. There's so many chalk spots that there's not going to be. I mean, it actually plays like a bigger slate if you try and include these other teams. And you just factor in, you just need a few teams to not do quite what you expect them to. Keeping the San Diego stacks to 4, that's one thing. I mean, it's really hard not to play San Diego against Freeland. Like Freeland is the ultimate worst, I think, for matchup for them. And then you can play the guys at the bottom of the order. I mean, even the other night, even last night when everybody was 50% owned, Profar was barely owned. He'll be owned today, but just thought I'd point that out. And I think speculating on the Oakland situation in a great hitting weather, or for Oakland, great hitting weather, that makes a lot of sense to me. And I think that Canna, especially on DraftKings where people won't play him at 5K, is a really good play along with Moreland. And I like if Moreland wasn't in the lineup, I had my 2v2 ready to switch, and I was gonna put it in Polanco and Olsen, because I just think that that's the way you're trying to get different today. You don't really want to skip these guys, in my opinion. But you can play like Castro over Rogers, which is going to be less owned. You know what I mean? You could play Hans or Alberto at 2,100, and no one's going to play, I don't think. Those are just little plays, ways you can get different on this slate. It is hard to stay away from the San Diego 5-man, especially now that they made it so affordable. But I would encourage that we try to keep it to 4 if you can.
Right. So this is your choice, Bobby. So I had mentioned before, and this is part of the vagrance of doing this during the day. Something came up that I have to run. So okay. I could just call this, or
yeah, we can call it. I'll be in chat.
You can relaunch one yourself from your YouTube channel if you want.
By the time we get it all done and gets my thing going, I can't do it up to lock when I do it alone. It's
but I literally have to run like in 17.
All right, man. Well, I'll be in Discord, guys.